3 Miraculous Reasons Your Life is Divinely Rearranging for Prophetic Manifestation Today. In the quaint English village of Hope Ford, a breath of divine possibility lingered in the air. It surged through the ancient oak trees and danced across the rolling hills. Mary, a mother with unwavering faith, organized gatherings that inspired her community to rally for St. Jude, the patron saint of lost causes. Each meeting lit up the chapel with warm laughter and spirited hymns, but the light in her life dimmed when her son, Samuel, fell ill with a rare affliction that baffled doctors. Day and night, Mary knelt before the altar, her lips whispering prayers that echoed off the ancient stone. "God, please," she cried out, her heart pounding in her chest. Her faith felt like a warm blanket wrapped around her, but as days turned into weeks, this warm embrace grew cold. The silence of the heavens sent chills down her spine. In her darkest moments, hope flickered like a dying candle. One evening, while seeking solace in the chapel, a light flickered before her eyes. It was sudden. The air felt charged, electric. Mary inhaled sharply, and in that moment of heightened perception, she saw a vision, a path lined with radiant light, drenched in ethereal beauty. "Samuel," she gasped, understanding that divine healing awaited her son, but it was not just a matter of waiting. No, she must act. Just as she began to interpret the radiant vision, she imagined abandoning all traditional medical practices in favor of a spiritual pilgrimage, a leap of faith that promised miraculous results. Excitement bubbled within her like a fountain of divine joy, but as she shared her ardent plan with her neighbors gathered around the chapel, they exchanged concerned glances. Their murmurs filled the air, a blend of reverence and deep-rooted caution. "This could be risky, Mary. Is faith enough to heal him?" The tension hung in the air, as thick as the fog that rolled in from the hills. "Before we continue, I need to tell you about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, click the bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can leave a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen." Now let's continue. The night before her departure, a burden weighed heavily upon Mary's heart. Kneeling on the chapel floor, she sensed a flurry of wings in the rafters, but when she looked up, nothing was there. With a hush, an enchanting whisper enveloped her thoughts: "Your faith shall be tested. Divine timing is unfathomable." The words vibrated in her soul, intensifying her determination, yet simultaneously igniting a storm of doubts. As dawn broke, a chill rushed through her. Standing at her home's threshold, Samuel sleeping soundly within, she felt the air thrum with energy. The village encircled her, their hands raised, a living testament of faith, each heart whispering hope, stitching the air with threads of unity. But as Mary took her first step into what could be a divine odyssey, an extraordinary sight caught her eye: shimmering lights between the trees, like heavenly messages descending from above, fueling her uncertainty. Where was she to go from here? With this supernatural event before her eyes, doubt gnawed at her, yet faith tugged at her heart. At this intersection of hope, fear, and divine mystery, Mary held her breath. A moment approached that could alter everything. Would she step forward and trust the signs, or would she pause, retracing her steps back to the warmth of familiar arms? The question lingered, echoing in the sacred silence, a gentle reminder that whatever unfolded next was bound to be extraordinary. The shimmering lights before Mary transformed the forest into a tableau of faith, mingling shadows and light in perfect harmony. She closed her eyes for a moment, inhaling deeply, letting the crisp morning air fill her lungs. She sensed the presence of something sacred around her, an invitation to embrace the unknown. "Trust in me." The whisper fluttered in her heart again, stronger this time, as if it wanted to settle into her very soul. With a tremor of renewed courage, Mary took a step forward, feeling the energy resonate through her. She could hear the soft murmurs of her community behind her, their faith wrapping around her like a protective cloak, urging her onward. As she walked, each footfall felt significant, reverberating with the hopes and prayers of those she loved. "I'm doing this for you, my sweet Samuel," she murmured, recalling the joyful moments they shared, his laughter, his playful spirit. Each memory intensified her resolve. The path twisted and turned, leading her deeper into the embrace of the forest. The trees seemed to part, revealing a clearing bathed in a golden glow. At the center stood a modest altar, surrounded by wildflowers dancing in the gentle breeze. The sight took Mary's breath away. It felt divinely orchestrated, as though the universe itself conspired to guide her here. Tears brimmed in her eyes, not from sorrow but from overwhelming gratitude. She sank to her knees, placing her palm against the cool earth, sending silent prayers skyward. "God, I come in faith. You know my heart and my longing for my son's healing." The words flowed from her, raw and vulnerable, as if every ounce of her being was aligning for this purpose. Suddenly, a warmth enveloped her, unlike anything she had ever experienced. It was as though an invisible hand caressed her cheek, filling her spirit with peace. In that sacred moment, the doubts that once clouded her mind dissipated like mist in sunlight. A vision flickered across her mind: Samuel running freely in a meadow, his laughter ringing like bells in the air. Joy welled up from deep within her, and with it, a surge of power. She realized it was no longer just her faith alone. Unseen forces were converging around her, a community of believers enveloped in love, prayers merging as one. Feeling a powerful surge within her, she rose, her heart alight with purpose. This pilgrimage was not merely a quest for healing, it was a testament to belief, a declaration that their God was a God of miracles. The aliveness around her transformed fear into fierce determination. As she stood in the sunlight filtering through the trees, she became aware of a soft voice threading through the ambience around her. "It is time, Mary. Everything has been arranged just for you." A thought flickered. What if this journey brought deeper revelations than she anticipated? What if her faith was to expand, transcend the very healing she sought? Feelings of awe intertwined with excitement. She was ready to listen for the new directions that awaited her. With the village still nearby, enveloped in their prayers, both hope and uncertainty danced within her. Mary looked back at the shimmering path, feeling a divine pull urging her deeper into the sacred mystery that lay ahead. The horizon whispered secrets of a journey yet untraveled, and she felt the stirrings of divine possibility echoing in her heart. What awaits me in this divine arrangement? As she ventured forward, her spirit soared with the knowledge that the next moments held the potential for something extraordinary. Would her faith lead her to the miraculous, or would new challenges await her? The air pulsed with an energy that felt both foreign and familiar as Mary moved forward, each step resonating with an unseen rhythm. She glanced around, captivated by the ethereal beauty surrounding her, the wildflowers swaying as if ushering her deeper into the heart of faith. Nature seemed more vibrant here, colors brighter, scents richer. It was as if a divine painter had touched the landscape with a promise of wonder. Mary reached the altar, the sunlight glinting off a small bowl of water placed delicately in the center. The water twinkled, calling to her, whispering of purity and renewal. She knelt again, placing her trembling hands in a prayerful gesture, feeling the coolness seep into her palms. It was grounding, reminding her that divine plans often flowed from the most unexpected sources. "Lord, if I may, I offer myself to your will," Mary breathed, her voice a blend of anticipation and submission. This was not just for Samuel, it was about her, to her own soul's journey. The echoes of her community's prayers wrapped around her, intertwining with her own, crafting a beautiful tapestry of hope. In that moment of surrender, a gentle wind picked up, swirling around her, carrying with it the sweet scent of blooming flowers and the distant melodies of birds. Suddenly, Mary's heart raced as she sensed a shift. The very air around her seemed to hum with divine certainty. She opened her eyes, and the world around her looked alive, vibrant with the presence of the Holy Spirit. Then, she saw a shadow flit between the trees, a figure emerging from the woods. A tall man, wearing a cloak of deep green, stepped forward. His face was gentle yet fierce, eyes shimmering with wisdom that pierced through the layers of Mary's uncertainty. He raised a hand in greeting, not imposing, but inviting. "Fear not, Mary." His voice was warm, soothing like the sun breaking through clouds. "You are on the correct path. So much is awaiting you." With those words, joy surged within her, a blossom of hope unfolding. Could this be the messenger she sought? "Are you here for Samuel?" she asked, her voice barely a whisper, tinged with longing and hope. "Not just for him," he replied, taking a step closer. "You see, the journey you are on isn't solely about healing. It is about awakening a calling to believe in the unseen forces that love and shape our lives." Mary's heart raced as he spoke, for with each word, her spirit resonated with a recognition she could not ignore. "Awakening?" she echoed, feeling an undeniable pull towards this truth. Could her journey lead to shared miracles beyond her understanding? What if it was not just about one miracle for Samuel, but an abundance of blessings unfolding for many? "Yes," the man nodded, his eyes gleaming. "Every step you take is guidepost to deeper revelations. You will ignite a chain of miracles, but first, you must embrace the power of your faith and unite it with the will of God. Prepare your heart for transformation." As he spoke, the wildflowers around the altar seemed to shine brighter, their vibrant hues pulsing like her own elevated heartbeat. Mary looked deep within herself. What fear held her back? What doubt clouded her heart? In that moment, clarity washed over her. Her faith was intertwined with a greater purpose. Healing her son was just the beginning. With renewed purpose, she rose to her feet, determination radiating from her. The allure of the unknown now no longer frightened her, it thrilled her. "I am ready," she declared, each word echoing through the clearing with a newfound strength. As the man smiled, he motioned for her to follow deeper into the woods. With each step, a sense of excitement unfurled within her, igniting the spark of collective belief that surrounded her. "Know this," he said, pausing to lock eyes with her, "the power of this journey will extend beyond what you foresee. What comes next may challenge your understanding of faith itself." What lay ahead? What transformation awaited her amid these unfolding mysteries? Only the path could reveal the answers. Mary took a deep breath, the uncertainty igniting her excitement. Would she rise to these new revelations, or would she falter in the face of divine expectations? As they walked, the shadows of the trees danced around them, illuminating the path with flickering light. Mary felt her heart quickening, each beat echoing with a call to faith. The man in green led her into the depths of the forest, a haven of whispering leaves and gentle rustling, as if the very earth conspired to reveal hidden truths. "Do you believe in the impossible?" he asked, glancing back with a knowing smile. His voice caught her off guard. I want to believe," she stammered, her pulse quickening. "But what if I'm not enough? What if my faith isn't big enough?" But therein lies the beauty," he exclaimed, joy glimmering in his eyes. "It's not about the size of your faith, it is about the object of your faith. Trust in the one who can bring forth life from barren ground." Mary nodded, remembering the stories she had held dear since childhood, testimonies of miracles and hope echoing through her heart. "I've seen pain," she reflected softly, "and my heart aches for it. I fear that my strength may falter." "The light shines brightest in darkness," he assured her. "You are not walking this journey alone. Your community's prayers are linked to your steps. Every soul you encounter on this path will lend you strength. Healing isn't a solitary act, it overflows to touch many." A sense of warmth enveloped her, a realization that her struggles connected her with the wider tapestry of faith. With each word he spoke, the atmosphere shifted, it crackled with promise. Mary felt herself leaning into this truth, letting the weight of her fears lift like leaves caught in an autumn breeze. "Tell me more," she pleaded, urgency filling her voice. The man paused, looking deeply into her eyes. "There is a divine purpose in your yearning. As you trust in that purpose, your life will align with a miraculous design. Each moment of struggle is a seed for growth, a place where the miraculous can happen." Mary thought of Samuel, her heart squeezing with emotion. "Will he be healed?" "I can't help but worry." The stakes feel so high. Your worry binds you, while hope liberates," he said, his fervor igniting a fire within her. Moses faced doubt, but he embraced his calling. David cast his stones with faith against Goliath. Each fought their battles with reliance on something greater than themselves. "It's time for you to do the same." With those words, her spirit surged. It was true her heart had often been chained to worry. She envisioned Samuel rising, strong and whole, and it filled her with joy. "What will you ask God for, Mary?" He prompted her gently. "I will ask for healing. I will ask for faith not just for Samuel, but for all those who suffer." The words flew from her lips, empowered by the clarity unfurling inside her. Her previous hesitations melted away, revealing a fiery resolve. "Then, let this be your declaration." He gestured dramatically to the canopy overhead. "Raise your voice. Speak your healing into existence, and watch as it manifests into glory." Inspired, Mary took a step forward. She raised her hands toward the heavens, feeling the energy swirling around her. "Lord, I ask for healing. I desire to see miracles bloom in my son's life and in the lives of those around me." A rush of wind enveloped her, lifting her spirit even higher. In that moment, she felt the tangible presence of God's grace. Was this exhilaration the awakening he spoke of? As her voice faded into the whispering woods, the man turned to her. "Be prepared, Mary. The journey has only just begun. Miraculous waters will rise from your faith." What awaited her on this path of awakened belief? Would her voice be the very spark that kindled the fires of miraculous change? The question loomed in the air, pregnant with expectation. As they stood together in that sacred moment, a palpable energy surrounded Mary, a divine pulse that resonated within her very soul. The man in green's eyes sparkled with wisdom, challenges, and an unyielding faith that stirred something profound in her spirit. "Feel that?" he asked, motioning as the wind continued to swirl around them, rustling the leaves above. "That's the breath of potential, the promise of what's to come." Mary inhaled deeply, drawing in the cool, fresh air mingled with the scent of earth and growing things. It cradled her spirit, pushing back the shadows of doubt that had lingered in her heart. "What do I need to do?" she asked, captivated and ready for guidance. "First, embrace the shifts in your heart," he said gently. "Let them transform you, reshape your perception of what is possible. Miracles begin within those who dare to dream." Her thoughts turned to Samuel again, the way his laughter brightened her world. Would this newfound faith be the light to guide him through the darkness? Would it lift him from despair? And then the memory surfaced each brave step she had taken before. "I felt something similar when I first prayed for him," Mary murmured. "I had to let go of my fears exactly." He interrupted, excitement bubbling in his voice. "Releasing fear is often the first miracle. Fear is heavy, it weighs down the spirit. When you let it go, you're opening the door for grace to flow freely." His words danced in her mind, illuminating the shadows still lingering at the edges. Letting go. It was a small act, yet it possessed power. She thought about the times she had clung to worry, feeling as if it were a shield against disappointment. But what had it really done? Only weighed her down further. "Let us take a step together," he said, extending a hand toward her. "Let us walk deeper into this forest of faith. Each step will call forth the promise God has placed in you." With a determined nod, Mary grasped his hand. They began walking again, surrounded by the rustling leaves, their footsteps becoming a rhythmic prayer. The path twisted and turned, leading them to a small glade bathed in ethereal light. "Here, in this sacred place, we will center ourselves," he said. "This is where the heart communes with the divine. Take a moment to express your gratitude, Mary. Let every ounce of your heart rise toward heaven." Mary closed her eyes, feeling that light touch her skin, filling her with a warmth she had longed for. "Thank you, Lord," she whispered, her voice barely audible. "Thank you for the gift of this moment, for the hope of healing, for the strength to endure." Tears began to prick at the corners of her eyes as the rush of emotions coursed through her. Suddenly, the wind picked up, swirling around her in jubilant dance, as if rejoicing in her praises. She opened her eyes, enchanted by the intertwining rays of sunlight filtering through the trees. Is this what it means to live in faith? She wondered aloud. Yes, he grinned, a glint of mischief in his eyes. And it's only the beginning. When belief ignites, the extraordinary unfolds in your life. Expect miracles, for they are on the horizon. Mary stared, breathless. But what kind of miracles? How will I know what to do? Ask, and you shall receive, he said, winking. Keep your heart open and your spirit attuned. Divine arrangements ripple unseen beneath the surface, weaving your path. Your question begins the journey. The answers will meet you where faith and hope collide. Encouraged, Mary felt a wave of anticipation wash over her. Could she step into this promise? Would she dare to listen as God spoke through the whispers of this journey? The man in green looked at her with a sense of urgency. But beware, dear Mary. With each step of faith, darkness will seek to hinder your progress. Remember, the battle is not against flesh and blood, but against the doubts that seek to cloud your vision. With renewed determination, Mary pressed forward, her heart alight with convictions that battled against uncertainty. What hardships awaited just beyond the bend? And would her faith carry her through treacherous waters toward the miraculous? The forest was alive, waiting for her next move, a beauty of divine orchestration unfolding just out of reach. With every step into the lush glade, Mary could feel a stirring in her spirit, as if the very roots of the earth were awakening her purpose. The man in green, exuding quiet strength, walked beside her, his presence a source of comfort and courage. The air shimmered with sacred energy, and she found herself drawn to the patch of sunlight that warmed the forest floor. Look closely, he said, suddenly pausing and gesturing toward a brilliant flower that seemed to thrive alone in the soft soil. Its petals glistened like jewels, vibrant against the backdrop of green. This flower blooms in adversity. It is a reminder that beauty can emerge amidst the storms of life. Mary knelt, her fingers brushing the delicate petals. She understood Samuel's struggle mirrored this flower's perseverance. In his darkest hours, could something beautiful arise? The thought ignited a flicker of hope in her heart. But how do I nurture that beauty in him? She asked softly, her eyes reflecting the light. Through faith and patience, he replied, kneeling beside her. His voice was soothing, like a gentle breeze. Patience, dear Mary, is a divine art. It allows the unseen workings of heaven to unfold, leading you ever closer to the answer. As they sat together in silence, the breeze whispered secrets only the trees could hear. Mary closed her eyes again, drawing strength from the tranquility surrounding her. She imagined pouring all her anxieties and fears into the earth, watching them dissolve beneath the weight of gratitude. Each breath steadied her resolve she could do this. Just then, the man in green stood up suddenly, his expression transforming. Fear not, for miraculous moments await. You must unlock your voice, for it carries the echoes of heaven. Speak aloud your desires and support. Every word holds the power of creation. Surprised, Mary looked up. Speak? In this hidden place? Yes. Speak your heart and watch the mountains move. His enthusiasm sparked her own, and she rose to her feet, hands open to the sky. As the sun poured down like liquid gold, she closed her eyes and declared, Lord, bring healing to Samuel. Let him rise from this darkness and embrace the light you have for him. The air grew still as she finished her prayer. A shiver ran up her spine, and for a moment, everything felt suspended in sacred anticipation. You see? The man encouraged, his eyes twinkling with delight. The universe moves when we declare our intentions with confidence. You are on the brink of divine alignment. But Mary hesitated. Will it really be enough? What if my words aren't powerful enough? In the realm of faith, it is not about size, but sincerity, he reassured her. Remember, even the smallest seed can grow into a mighty tree when nourished with belief. Struck by the weight of his words, Mary felt a deeper release within her. A warm rush enveloped her like a hug from heaven, whispering assurance that she was not alone in this fight. The fear that once loomed over her began to shrink. Now let us explore further, the man said enthusiastically, gesturing toward the meandering path ahead. Every step brings about unfolding wonder. But be alert, the shadows may try to obscure your belief. Stay in tune with your heart and let the light guide you. With her spirits lifted, Mary ventured forward, the worries of the past falling away like autumn leaves in the wind. Yet, the shadows still lingered at the edges of her vision, ever present. As they journeyed deeper into the forest, she could feel a shift in the air, a tension building like a storm brewing just out of sight. What awaited them beyond the next rise? And would the light of her faith cut through the encroaching darkness? The path twisted further. The next steps would unveil a divine mystery, one that could change everything. As Mary and the man in green continued their trek, the vibrant greenery seemed to vibrate with life. Sunlight streamed through the thick canopy, creating patches of light that danced around them, almost like celestial gems scattered on the ground. Yet, shadows flitted just beyond her peripheral vision, tethering her thoughts to the uncertainty that pressed against her heart. "Stay vigilant," the man urged, his voice steady like the ancient trees surrounding them. "Recognize that light and dark exist simultaneously. Sometimes, it's in the darkest moments that the most brilliant revelations find their way to us." Mary nodded, absorbing his words. Each step felt like entering a deeper realm of understanding. She recalled her prayer, the fervor in her voice. The thought of Samuel brought warmth to her heart, but alongside it, doubt crept back in. What if my faith isn't strong enough? What if Samuel can't heal? The man paused to look at her, his gaze piercing yet filled with compassion. "Your faith does not stand alone, Mary. It intertwines with divine grace. The heart that prays is never abandoned. If you're willing, God will move mountains you thought were immovable." As they climbed a small hill, the tension in the air thickened. A low rumble echoed in the distance, not quite thunder, but something akin to it, an undeniable sign of change. The ground beneath her feet felt dynamic, as if it too was responding to the spiritual battle at play. "What do we find at the top?" Mary inquired, her heart racing. "The unveiling of truth," the man replied. "Beyond every hardship lies clarity waiting to be seen. Let your heart open to what is about to be revealed." Taking a deep breath, Mary pressed on. The journey felt heavier now, the weight of her concerns mixing with the promise of hope. As they reached the crest, Mary's breath caught in her throat. Before them lay a breathtaking panorama, a lake, shimmering like liquid silver, surrounded by hills dressed in the tapestry of the forest, but the view was marred by a strange mist hovering over the surface of the water. It twisted and turned, swirling like dark thoughts seeking release. The air crackled with an unspoken energy. "What is that?" Mary asked, a deep shudder running through her. "Fear not," he urged gently. "This mist is a collection of worries and doubts, both yours and those around you. It hinders clarity and healing. You must allow the light in your heart to pierce through it." Mary felt a surge of determination. "How do I clear it away?" "Speak truth into the fog," he instructed, each word resonating with solemn urgency. "Let the light of your faith draw it out from the depths. Acknowledge the fears and release them. For when fear flees, healing follows." Mary took a step closer to the edge of the water, grounding herself in the moment. The man's eyes encouraged her to let go, to unshackle the chains of her doubts. In that instant, whispers of encouragement filled her mind, nudging her toward an undeniable truth. "Lord," she called out, her voice bold yet tender, "I release my fears. I trust in your plan. Break the chains of doubt. Heal Samuel, and let your light shine through these shadows." As her voice echoed across the lake, the mist began to ripple and swirl deeper. The tension buzzed electrifyingly around her. Ripples expanded across the water, breaking the stillness, and for a moment, she thought she saw something stirring beneath the surface. "What is happening?" Mary whispered, heart racing. "Watch closely," he murmured, a smile of anticipation spreading across his face. "The divine is at work." A shattering light burst forth from beneath the lake, illuminating the dark mist around it. Was this the dawn of a miracle, or was another test on the horizon? Could Samuel's healing truly be this close? In that moment, their fate hung precariously, and a new question pulsed through the air. What next would come to light from beyond the waters? As the radiant light erupted from the depths of the lake, Mary felt her heart pound in harmony with the shimmering energy. The mist thickened momentarily before it began to thin, retreating as if called away by a force far greater than mere human will. "What is this? Is it a miracle?" she murmured, a mix of awe and bewilderment washing over her. "Yes, and yet," the man in green answered, turning his gaze to the mist. "Miracles often demand a response. They bring with them a calling to act, to deepen our faith and accept what is being revealed." With every pulse of energy that erupted, Mary sensed the weight of her fears lifting. The darkness that had clung to her soul seemed to diminish. Words from deep within her rose, unbidden yet clear. "I long for clarity, Lord. Show me how to step forward in faith." A wave of warmth enveloped her, a reassurance that echoed through her spirit. The man nodded, his eyes shining with understanding. "The light reflects your soul's yearning. If you seek healing for Samuel, you must first embrace your own healing." Mary stepped closer to the water's edge, her reflection beginning to merge with the light. "But what if I falter? What if my faith is still too small to challenge the shadows?" "Doubt is a thief," he responded quietly. "But faith, however small, is a powerful ally. Each spark of belief ignites the divine spark within. Look beyond your doubts, Mary." In that moment, the mixture of shadows and light over the lake began to take form, images swirling up from the depths, revealing scenes from her life, the struggles she had faced, including the fears surrounding Samuel. Her past battles flared momentarily, yet through it all, the strength of her spirit began to shine brighter than the darkness that had held her captive. An unexpected sensation flooded her heart, peace. With every beat, it whispered a truth: she was not alone. An unwavering love surrounded her, embracing her deepest insecurities. Suddenly, from the center of the lake, a voice broke through the whispers of the light. "Mary, you are loved. Your burdens have been heard. Follow the path illuminated before you." Her gaze shifted to the surface, where an iridescent path began to shimmer, leading directly across the lake. "Will I find Samuel? Will I discover healing there?" The breathless question filled the air, full of longing. The man smiled gently, his presence bolstering her courage. "Healing is not just about the body, it is also about the spirit. Follow your heart, for there are lessons waiting for you. They may not look as you'd expect, but they are precisely what you need." Taking a deep breath, Mary hesitated for only a moment, then stepped onto the shimmering path. Each footfall felt both weighty and weightless, as if supported by something far beyond the earthly realm. As she ventured forth, clarity began to unfold around her, illuminating pieces of her faith she had yet to discover. "Look inside, and you shall see," the man said, keeping pace beside her. "For every step taken in faith opens doors to wonders untold." But as she moved further along the shimmering path, a fog began to swirl again, this time more intense. Would the fear she had fought off return? Would this new journey reveal more shadows? Mary's heart raced as uncertainty intertwined with the hope she clutched. Would she find Samuel on the other side? The promise of healing shimmered ahead, yet shadows lingered. What new revelations awaited? Would they challenge her to go deeper still? The energy crackled in the air like summer lightning, casting fleeting shadows that danced along the lake. Each step Mary took on the glowing path felt like a stepping stone into the divine unknown. She was enveloped in light, yet the fog wrapped around her like an old cloak, reminding her of her fears. "As you walk, remember light and shadow coexist," the man in green reminded her. His voice was the gentle echo of wisdom. "Do not fear the shadows. They reveal what needs to be transformed." Mary breathed deeply, fighting to hold on to the peace she felt. Each breath ignited a flicker of hope within. The warmth from the light surged with every inhalation. What was she to learn? What were the shadows lurking to teach her? Suddenly, the fog shifted, and images flared like photographs igniting in the dark. Memories cascaded before her, moments of joy intertwined with despair, laughter mingling with sorrow. She saw Samuel, a bright-eyed boy, full of zest and light, then the image dulled, flickering between moments of illness and fear. Tears pricked her eyes as one striking scene caught her heart. She saw herself, grief-stricken, praying by Samuel's bedside, her hands trembling, the weight of despair heavy in her heart. Oh, how I wish I could reach back and embrace that girl, to whisper words of faith in her ear, she thought, longing to share strength she had only begun to find. Mary, the man in green, intoned softly, his presence steadying her. What you have endured is not in vain. Every struggle builds a bridge to deeper faith. Remember, it is through the cracks that the light can flood in. With that realization, the fog began to lift, revealing a section of the path ahead illuminated by a rich, golden glow. Hope blossomed within her, a flower flourishing in the warmth. Keep moving, dear heart, he encouraged. You are closer to something beautiful. As she continued along the path, it wound and dipped, leading her through an archway of vibrant flowers that seemed to sway with the spirit of the place. Their colors sang with joy, each petal catching the light like a sacred promise. Mary couldn't help but smile, her spirit lifting. Will all of this lead me to Samuel? To healing? She whispered, the weight of her longing making her vulnerable, yet her heart echoed with faith. Trust the journey, for healing will arrive as the truth of your heart unfolds, the man replied, his voice steady and soothing. What you see may not be what you expect, but rest assured, it is the exact manifestation your soul craves. With every step, she felt lighter, released from the chains of fear. Suddenly, a flash of brilliance erupted from the direction they were heading. Bright streaks danced above the water, shimmering like molten gold as if the heavens themselves had burst forth to meet her. What is that? Mary gasped, entranced by the beauty. It is the manifestation of your faith and healing entwined, he said, mirroring her awe. But will you be brave enough to fully embrace it? In that moment, a wave of uncertainty crashed against her heart. The shadows of doubt began to creep back in. Would she truly be able to accept the healing that lay ahead? Would she find Samuel's light again? Mary stood still, the weight of the question hanging in the air as the vibrant glow danced beneath the surface, calling her closer. The harmony of the moment swirled around her in a divine melody, a reminder of what could be if she let her spirit soar. Will you step forward into the light? The man asked, his gaze unwavering, a challenge wrapped in encouragement. Mary paused, her heart thrumming with both fear and hope. She felt the warmth of the light beckoning her, inviting her to take that leap of faith. What awaited her on that shimmering shore? Would it be Samuel? Would joy fill her heart once more, or would she face trials to strengthen her spirit even further? With her thoughts swirling and her heart racing, she closed her eyes, summoning courage within. The light shone brighter around her. The moment of truth was upon her. What would she choose? Would she dive deeper into the faith that awaited, ready to embrace the miraculous? As Mary stood on the shimmering shore, her heart danced with anticipation. The vibrant glow pulsed with energy, illuminating not just the shoreline but every corner of her soul. She could feel the weight of divine expectancy in the air, a promise whispered just for her and Samuel. Will you step forward into the light? Echoed in her mind. The man in green stood by her side, a steadfast beacon of faith. His presence reflected the unshakable belief she longed to embody. She closed her eyes again, inhaling deeply. The air tasted of hope, fresh and invigorating, carrying the scent of wildflowers and distant prayers. Lord, I trust you, she breathed, the words pouring from her like an offering. If this light leads to healing for Samuel, I will follow. A rush of conviction surged within her. She opened her eyes, now filled with burning determination. Without hesitation, she stepped forward into the radiant glow. Each footfall resonated with her heartbeat, a sacred rhythm echoing through the fabric of creation. The light wrapped around her like a mother's embrace, comforting and warm. Suddenly, she saw him, the subtle form of Samuel, emerging from the depths of the shimmering waters. His laughter floated to her like wind chimes, a melody she yearned for. Samuel, alive, vibrant, free from the chains that bound him. Joy poured forth from her heart, cascading like a river breaking through the dam of despair. Sammy! She cried out, arms stretching wide in a reflex of love that could not be contained. "You're here." As their eyes met, the light between them sparkled magical, divine. Samuel smiled, his gaze filled with warmth and recognition. In that sacred moment, Mary felt every ounce of her suffering fall away. The struggles, the doubts, the long nights of empty prayers all dissolved like mist in the morning sun. "Mom!" Samuel ran to her, his laughter cascading through the air. She knelt down as he enveloped her in his embrace, a moment filled with the kind of joy that no words could convey. It wasn't just healing that flowed between them, it was complete transformation, a resurrection of hope. The man in green watched them, his expression a mix of pride and joy. "You see, Mary? Your faith has awakened not just your son, but this entire moment. Your surrender allowed the light to work through you both." Tears of gratitude streamed down Mary's cheeks. "Thank you, Lord," she cried, overwhelmed by the magnitude of divine grace. The air pulsed with holy affirmation. She sensed angels rejoicing all around them. Each note of laughter, each word of love became a sacred symphony of spiritual reality. "This isn't merely about healing," the man in green said softly, stepping closer. "It's a testament of hope for your community, a spark ignited through your unwavering belief." Mary looked around, noticing the mist that had once clouded the lake now faded, revealing not only clarity but a community of villagers watching in awe, eyes wide with wonder and hearts brimming with faith. They had witnessed the miracle unfold, each prayer a thread woven into this divine tapestry. "Mary," the man continued, "remember, the power of faith ripples through every life you touch. Share this moment with them, let it inspire their journeys and ignite their own flames of belief." Drawing in a deep breath, Mary stood tall, holding Samuel's hand. "My dear friends," she called, her voice resonating across the clearing, infused with a newfound authority. "This healing isn't just ours to keep. It is a light meant to shine upon each of you. Let every heart burdened with worry learn from our story." As hope surged through the villagers, they gathered closer, tears of joy glistening on their cheeks, echoing her sentiments of belief. "Yes, healing is possible," Mary exclaimed, strengthening the bond of faith she felt. "We are not alone. Together, we rise. Together, we manifest miracles." A wave of electrifying energy rippled through the congregation, a collective uniting of prayers and spirits, weaving them into an indomitable force of faith. With her son's hand firmly clasped in hers, Mary turned to the man in green, who nodded with pride, signaling the mission of this journey had only just begun. The light expanded, illuminating the path ahead and beckoning them forward, not just toward individual healing, but toward becoming a lighthouse for others struggling in darkness. The horizon stretched wide, full of divine possibilities bursting forth like blossoming flowers under the grace of the sun. Mary stepped back onto the path ahead. She realized they had crossed from doubt into belief, and belief into divine purpose. Strength was no longer held in isolation, but shared with those who dared to hope. Together, they would manifest faith and share the radiant love that healed them, climbing the mountaintops of their collective testimony to inspire countless souls. And with that, the saga of the faithful mother and her miraculous son became more than a story. It became eternal, the legacy of light, love, and unwavering belief that God, in His great wisdom, had poured out upon His creation. Now, dear friends, this is your moment to act. You need to subscribe immediately to our channel to never miss these diving faith stories that guide, uplift, and inspire. Leave a like now to nourish the algorithm and keep these miracles coming to the forefront, where they belong. Comment below your reactions and testimonies, sharing how this ending inspires you to lean into faith more deeply. And this moment is crucial. Share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to witness this beautiful manifestation of miracles and hope. Don't wait even one more second. This is the moment to show your support and let your light shine.